Picture this. A man walks into a convenience store. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Nothing special. He grabs a drink, there's a disagreement at the counter, the kind that happens 100 times a day in 100 different stores, and within 60 seconds, a 61-year-old man who came to America chasing a better life is dead on the floor. That's the story the cameras captured. But what the cameras didn't capture was what had been happening inside that man's apartment for the past 2 months. And honestly, the store shooting almost feels like the smaller crime once you find out. Torrey Moore was 34 years old and lived in a small apartment in Silver Spring, Maryland, just across the street from a dash-in convenience store on New Hampshire Avenue. No car. He walked everywhere. And according to the store manager, he'd become a familiar and troubling presence at that store, showing up, causing problems, getting trespassed, coming back anyway. What really gets me about this part is that the store manager had called police on Moore just 1 week before the shooting. Moore had been inside the store, harassing customers, refusing to leave. And when the manager finally grabbed a metal pipe to force him out, Moore looked him dead in the eye and said, "I'm going to kill you." Police came. Moore was already gone. They filed it, moved on. 1 week later, Moore walked back through that same door. It's December 8, 2022, 2:58 in the afternoon. Moore walks in, grabs an iced tea, brings it to the counter. The cashier, 61-year-old Ayalew Wondimu, an Ethiopian immigrant who'd built his whole life here, reaches to scan it. Moore doesn't let go. He opens the bottle, without paying. There's no audio on the surveillance, but you can read the room just fine. Wondimu pulls items off the counter. Moore starts throwing things. And then Wondimu reappears from behind the register holding a metal pipe, the same one the manager had used a week earlier. He swings. Moore pulls out a handgun.
And fires.
And fires again. When it stops, he picks up his iced tea, turns around, and walks out the door like nothing happened. Calm, measured, almost bored. Outside, chaos. Teenagers scatter. A woman in a blue SUV backs out of the lot and dials 911 while driving. First responders arrive at 3:06, but Ayalew Wondimu never made it. He was struck by multiple rounds. One bullet severed his spine. He was 61 years old. It was just him and his wife in this country. And now it was just her. Police pull surveillance from every angle. A break comes fast. Right across the street from the store sits the Enclave apartment complex. Cameras catch Moore walking toward the building minutes after the shooting. He's not running. He's not hiding. He's still carrying the iced tea. They get a no-knock warrant. A SWAT team stacks up outside one unit. They go in. They find Moore asleep on a mattress. Gun nearby. Case closed, or so it seemed. But then an officer moves toward the back of the apartment and stops. The smell hits first. They follow it to a back bedroom. And what they find inside that room changes everything about this case. I keep thinking about that moment, that officer stepping into that doorway and realizing what he's looking at. Because it wasn't just a body. It was a story that had been sealed inside those walls for almost 2 months. The woman was 26-year-old Denise Middleton, Moore's girlfriend. She had been shot 7 times. At least 4 in the back, and she was 8.5 months pregnant. The timeline investigators pieced together is what haunts me most. October 9, 2022. Moore and Denise are caught on elevator cameras entering the building together. She stands quietly in the corner, looking straight ahead, withdrawn, distant. When the doors open, she follows him out slowly. That's the last time anyone sees her alive. An hour later, cameras catch Moore leaving the building. Alone. For the next 26 days, he travels, moves around, and then he comes back to that apartment, and he stays there, living in the same space where Denise's body lay decomposing in the back room. His phone searches during this time tell you everything you need to know about his state of mind. How long it takes for a dead body to smell. How to move a body without being seen. How to plead insanity. He wasn't panicking. He was planning. During the interrogation, detectives tried every angle: empathy, evidence, logic. Moore stayed slippery. He talked about Tupac, about philosophy, about self-defense. He never outright confessed. He thought he could story-write his way out of it. He couldn't. Forensics matched the gun to both crime scenes. DNA on shell casings tied him to Denise's room. 2 separate juries convicted him. 3 consecutive life sentences, plus 80 years. 3 people are gone because of Torrey Moore. Ayalew Wondimu, who crossed an ocean to build something steady and was killed over a bottle of iced tea. Denise Middleton, who was weeks away from becoming a mother. And a child who never took a single breath. The part that still bothers me, and I mean genuinely bothers me, is how many warning signs there were. The threats, the trespassing notices, the prior calls to police. All of it documented. All of it filed away. I'm not saying any of it would have definitely changed the outcome. Maybe it wouldn't have. But sometimes the scariest thing isn't the monster in the story. It's how many times people looked directly at him and still couldn't stop what was coming. If the story stayed with you, drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what part hit you hardest. And if you're new here, subscribe. See you in the next one.